You are Locked On Packers, your daily Green Bay Packers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Packers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Peter Bukowski, and I cover the Packers for The Leap, a newsletter I would love for you to subscribe to. You can follow me on Twitter, Peter_Bukowski. Follow the podcast on Twitter, Locked On Packers. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, on Spotify, on Google Podcasts. Wherever you find podcasts, you will find Locked On Packers, the #1 Packers podcast on the internet, and the show for fans who know what happened. They want to know why and how. The Green Bay Packers take down the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-17. Shout out to everyone watching live on YouTube. I said we're going to be live for all of the primetime games. This was also a national game, so we'll do it for that too. Why not? Let's have some fun. Thanks to everyone who is listening to us on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever you're listening to us as your first listen. Remember, we are free and available on all platforms. This was a game for the Green Bay Packers that was a little bit of a show-me game for this offense and a little bit of a show-me game for this defense. So we're going to talk about both. And the reason it was a show-me game for the offense, no David Bakhtiari, no Elton Jenkins. Now teams have a bit of a blueprint for how you want to play. And we saw it against the 49ers. That is a good defense against the 49ers, but they have some questions at corner. So, okay, they have some places where you can attack. The Steelers do not have those same questions. This is a very, very good defense that is getting TJ Watt back. Cam Hayward is out there. Devin Bush is back. Although he got dinged up in this game, they still have Minkah Fitzpatrick, Joe Hayden, and just guys all over the field who can make your life miserable. And the Packers, 27 points is not going to tell the story. Okay, they put up 367 yards of total offense, 236 through the air, 131 on the ground, and they were excellent on third down. 9 of 15 on third down, a big part of that coming from Randall Cobb, who was enormous in this game. And I think what this game plan shows us is this team can beat you in so many ways. It was A.J. Dillon, 15 carries, 81 yards, and a near touchdown, had the longest run of the season for the Packers, a 25-yarder that he nearly scored on. And Randall Cobb led the team in receiving yards, 5 for 69, nice, and 2 touchdowns. They didn't do it in the traditional kind of way for the Green Bay Packers, and that was true last week as well. Do I have some questions about where the shotgun is coming from? Is it an Aaron Rodgers-driven thing? Is it a Matt LaFleur-driven thing? Is this the next evolution of the offense? I don't know, and I don't know that we're going to get any sort of honest answer about the truth there. But for the Packers to look like this, I mean, they got whatever they wanted. They really should have scored again at the end of the half. Now, they got a little lucky with the field goal block. They've got to get that tightened up. They got a little unlucky late in the game. The no tripping call cost the Packers 4 points. And then at the end of the game, a non-holding call on Rashawn Gary, a ticky-tack holding call on Eric Stokes. And, this game could have been a 20-point game. It could have been a 20-point game. And it wasn't. Now, they had some opportunities. And there's some complaints in the chat that the Packers took their foot off the gas a little bit. I actually felt like on one of the drives in the fourth quarter when they were running it effectively, 2 straight passes led to a punt. Now, one of them was on a busted play or a busted coverage where the Packers had 2 receivers running wide open and Rodgers threw it to Davante Adams. Randall Cobb thought it was to him and he knocks it out. It was the Packers beating themselves. And I think that's where this offense is right now. To do it, no Marquez Valdes-Scantling. They didn't take a vertical shot to a receiver in this game that I can recall. They took the shot with Tunyon that would have been a walk-in touchdown. Rodgers babied it. They didn't attack vertically down the field. Part of that is they have a lot of respect for this front, I'm sure. So they mixed the run game. They blocked very effectively in this game. And Aaron Jones, the numbers aren't wildly impressive, 15 for 48, but the Packers averaged 4 yards a carry in this game. They put up 131 yards, and maybe more importantly, it's 33 rushes, 36 passes. Now, the fact that they were able to get some points early to play from ahead, that allows them to stay balanced. And a lot of what they're doing is, all right, shotgun, spread it out, and now make some decisions. How is the defense going to play? And then, okay, if they're going to play small, pound it. If they're going to keep everyone sort of contained in the box area, maybe reduce a split or something, then you see, okay, try and attack outside. And what the Packers really did well, I thought, in this game is Randall Cobb gave them an element that they did not otherwise have, especially without MVS being able to open up the field down the sidelines or down the middle from the slot, is they attacked the middle of the field with Randall Cobb. You put Davante Adams in the slot, and you can create a lot of opportunities for him. But if you put him on the outside and you have a safety shaded to that side, now you can work the middle of the field and middle opposite Adams, where that safety is trying to cover a lot more ground. So you're able to get Randall Cobb open. I mean, the Packers didn't convert a third down that didn't involve Randall Cobb until like late in the second quarter. He was their third down offense because he's getting singled up and he's winning those one-on-one matchups. And he looked, as Wade points out on the stream, Randall Cobb does, like the guy that we saw in 2014. It was his first multi-touchdown game since 2015. And we knew he would be invigorated by coming to Green Bay. He wrote the big Players Tribune article about how happy he was to be back and what it felt like to come home. And Aaron Rodgers said, we got to get Randall Cobb more involved. Matt LaFleur said, we got to get Randall Cobb more involved. Peter Bukowski said they got to get Randall. No, that's not true. I did say that, but like they don't care what I think. And so these are the opportunities he's going to get, especially on third down when Devontae is going to see two. You have to find ways to get Randall Cobb involved in the offense. And I still think there are more ways to get creative with this offense. The Packers, I still think, could be going to the jet motion more. I want to see them give the jet. We saw Amari Rodgers play a little bit more in this game, didn't get a target. The Packers blocked extremely well on the edges. Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, Davante Adams even. And they were able to turn toss plays that could have been 2 yards into 6. Those are body blows. They wear you down. And the Packers at the end of the game, if they hit that shot to Tunyon, it's a blowout. And this game, even with the score, I mean, it's a 10-point game that really wasn't that close. And you look at things, I love net yards per play, a lot of garbage time in the second half. I mean, Pittsburgh scored on their first possession on a long touchdown. They scored just the 10 points after that. But it's not just that, right? So on that drive, they get a 45-yard touchdown to start the game, right? 45-yard touchdown to start the game. After that, they had less than 240 total yards in addition to that play. That play was what? A quarter of their total yardage? A fifth? A sixth of their total yards. I mean, on one play. So defensively, I thought we're going to talk at length about the Green Bay defense. Offensively, to play balanced in a different kind of way. You don't have to go big to play balanced. A lot of the shotgun, the RPO, pre-snap RPO, it's RPO based on look. But some of it is, okay, we saw some of that little flare RPO action where Rodgers can either hand it off or get it to Aaron Jones. They did that one time on the little flare, and it picked up a first down. It got called back, unfortunately, but those are things that they can get into. So even without MVS, and he's going to be out a couple weeks now, they have found ways, and they have found ways consistently this season over the last 3 games to, as Aaron Rodgers said, evolve this offense, to find ways to keep things in the oeuvre of this offense, but do it in a way that protects Aaron Rodgers. And I think a lot of my only guess as to why they're not playing bigger and doing some of the more under center stuff that we saw last year is they don't want Rodgers to have to turn his back to the defense. And probably Rodgers doesn't want to have to do that either when you've got 2 rookies out there and Josh Nijman, who, by the way, once again was solid, fine. The pressure did not kill the Packers in this game. And that is exactly what you need from these guys. Just be steady until Elton Jenkins. And Elton Jenkins has not gone IR. Presumably he'll have a chance to play, next week. We'll see. I mean, David Bakhtiari, we don't really have any indication about if he's going to come off PUP right away. So we have to keep planning for Elton Jenkins and some sort of patchwork offensive line moving forward here. But the fact that they were the last 2 weeks to score 57 points in 2 weeks against two very good defenses, against two very well-coached teams, is a credit to this offense. And it is in stark contrast to what we saw in week one. A.J. Dillon becoming more involved is not an accident. You want to play some power run against some of these teams to stay balanced. You want to play 21 personnel to stay balanced. Josiah DeGuara, I thought, got out there a little bit more. They played some more, base personnel kind of situations, 12, even 13 out there. And that's without Dominique Daphne. So they're finding different kinds of ways to stay diverse, but still stay within the confines of this offense. And that is something that is going to be vital for this team moving forward. All right, I have an incredible opportunity for everyone to save some money who buys gas, and that is almost everyone. It's called Get Upside. My listeners are making up to 25 cents for every gallon of gas every time they fill up. Just download the free Get Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now. Use promo code Touchdown to get 25 cents extra per gallon on your first fill up. That's up to 50 cents per gallon cash back. Don't pay full price at the pump anymore. Why would you do that? Get cash back using Get Upside. Just download the app for free and use promo code Touchdown to get up to 50 cents a gallon cash back on your first tank. And you can get it back in your bank account, PayPal, e-gift card, Amazon, other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code Touchdown for up to 50 cents a gallon cash back on your first tank. And thanks again to those of you who have made Locked On Packers your first listen every day. Remember, we are free and available on all platforms, including YouTube, where we are streaming right this second. Let's talk defense, because the Green Bay Packers defensively, they needed someone on that defensive front to step forward other than Kenny Clark, because Kenny Clark is just going to continue to do yeoman's work. He had a couple nice plays in this game, splash play, TFL, and he's going to get doubled a lot. You need some of these other guys to get in there. In this game, Kingsley Keke comes through. Last game, Dean Lowry had a nice game. Tyler Lancaster played well. They can do it by committee. It can't be what it was in week one when no one was any good. Even Kenny Clark was not his normal dominant self. He has been that guy over the last 3 weeks. So now you get Kingsley Keke in there with a sack fumble, and you turn that into points if you're the Packers. They need someone. Doesn't have to be Keke every week. That's he's a day 3 pick. You can't expect him to be a Pro Bowler out there. Go make some plays. Just make 1 or 2 plays a game. You have Devandre Campbell out there, who made a number of excellent plays to make tackles, to prevent first downs, especially late in the game on that 4th down when he just read Ben Roethlisberger's mail. And he sniffs out the crossers. He follows one, comes back with the other, makes the play, immediately makes the tackle. He, again, led the team in tackles in this game. Now, we do not know right now the status of Jair Alexander. He did raise both shoulders after he went down, which maybe just organizing his pads. I don't want to speculate on the injury, but he did immediately grab for that arm after making the hit. So, we'll see what the situation is there and how they could move this moving forward. I don't know that Isaac Yiadom is the best guy to be the boundary corner moving forward. Maybe they have to go, if Kevin King is back from concussion protocol next week, you have to go with King and Stokes on the outside with Chandon Sullivan in the slot. Maybe you go Chandon Sullivan to the boundary if King is still hurt. And Shamar Jean-Charles comes in. He played in this game a little bit at the end. And you have Charles in there at the end. So I think they probably just wanted to get a look at Jean-Charles, but we'll see. It's tough to know exactly how they want to move this, put this together moving forward. Luckily, and this is, I say this understanding what I'm saying. Luckily, they have Kevin King. And I say that because Eric Stokes, who had the game-sealing interception in this game, I thought he played well, except, he did get beat a couple times. He's a rookie. That's going to happen. But he is showing a ton of promise. Also had a PBU where he was right in Juju Smith-Schuster's shirt. He tackles, he rallies. He's always in position to play the ball. And that's not something you could say about Kevin King, but Kevin King knows the offense. If Jair has to miss a week or two, you have someone who at least and had faith could be out there if you needed him to be. Now, do you or I think that he's a starting caliber corner? No. But he knows the offense, or he knows the defense. He has practiced with this team. There's at least some continuity, and he's probably better than the average third boundary corner on a lot of teams. Is it ideal? No, but he's a backup. If he's going to be a backup, you're in fine shape. Now, I do think you could put Sullivan out there. Maybe he's better suited to be a boundary corner. He's not a very big guy, but they'll have some options. And I think what we can say definitively about the Packers is they will put the best guys out there. Now, they get the Bengals next week, and then the Bears, and then Washington football team before the Cardinals in what has now become a monster game on a short week, by the way. The Bengals are not going to scare the crap out of you from a passing game standpoint. The Bears, same thing, and Washington, same thing. So, this is the time if you're going to suffer one of those injuries. Now 2 of those are road games. You got to go to Chicago. You got to go to Cincinnati. Are either of those super scary? I don't know. Do you want to keep Stokes on the left side? Do you on the right side? Do you want to move him to the left side? They're going to have a lot of options. We're going to find out more when we find out just what the severity of the Jair Alexander injury is. You hope for his sake and for the Packers' sake, no structural damage. It didn't seem like a collarbone injury where it's a break. He walked off the field, but was clearly favoring that arm. So we cannot speculate. We do not know. The Packers have some options on how to deal with that. There were some breaks. Now, there were not coverage busts in the same way that we had seen early in the season. Pittsburgh ran some nice concepts. They had a double move that was open for a potential touchdown that Ben overthrew, but Ben is going to overthrow balls. Maybe they play a little bit differently if that's not the offense that they're running, but that's the offense that they run. And they had another opportunity down the field that Ben missed. Tony Romo said a walk-in touchdown. I don't know about that. Eric Stokes runs 4.28 and Juju does not. So I don't know about that. But on a deep in breaker kind of post route, you're going to have to live with the mistakes for Eric Stokes. You just live with it, and you figure it out and that's really the only option that you have. This defense, I thought showed some nice things, but it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. Still, they bring pressure when they need it, and they've been getting it. They got push in this game, and it bailed out their secondary. That's what you need. That is complementary football. We can't be sitting here after a game and go, well, if not for the sack fumble, the Packers defense, blah, blah, blah. No, they got that. If not for the pressure on Ben here, then blah, blah, blah. No, they got that pressure. And, you lost Preston Smith for a quarter in this game, and you continued to get pressure. Rashawn Gary, he gets another sack in this game. Just an effort ass kicker sack. Just ran right over the left tackle and deposited him in Ben Roethlisberger's shirt. He tackled them both. It was a dual sack. He should get 2 sacks for that. He took 2 guys down. I mean, it was an incredible play by Rashawn Gary. And I said this on Twitter. He is going to get sacks in the second half of games just because he is the kind of physical specimen who can still be going 100 miles an hour when everyone else is tired. And so if he's just your closer, try-hard guy the rest of the game, if he's just an effort guy who's solid in the run game and is running down running backs and is playing disciplined, and then in the fourth quarter is going to hunt quarterbacks when you're playing with a lead, that's a good player. That's a useful player. Now, they could use Zadarius Smith back. Ian Rappaport said after we finished recording on Friday that the Packers do believe that they can get Zadarius Smith back before the end of the season. Of course, just as we finished the stream, there was the report that MVS is going on short-term IR, hopefully just the 3 weeks while he gets the hamstring sorted out. He felt like he could go, said so on his Game On Wisconsin show last week. We'll see if that is a point of contention for him. Players always think they can play. I mean, that's just the reality. Players always think they can go. This defense has made strides. I mean, that's the thing. They've made strides. Their ability, and this was something that really showed up on that fourth down play, their ability to play with confidence in their underneath zones now. The linebackers, Oren Burks, Devandre Campbell, the safeties, the corners, they're all working in concert. And Matt LaFleur was asked about this because remember the line was, it doesn't really matter if they have the right call as long as everyone is playing the same call, right? And then it looked like in week one that not only was everyone not playing the same call, they also looked like they were not in the right call defensively. That has changed because guys are playing better. Plain and simple. They're playing better. They're playing faster. They're reacting faster. And they're finishing plays. I do think this is a question from the stream. How much credit should Joe Barry get for the defense? A lot. Now, I think the most credit should go to Brian Gutekunst for putting together this defense. You draft Jair Alexander. You draft Darnell Savage. You draft Eric Stokes. You sign Adrian Amos. You sign Devandre Campbell. Even Oren Burke, someone like that, the positional flexibility. You sign Rashawn Gary. You draft Rashawn Gary. You sign Preston Smith. This defense, other than Kenny Clark, is wholly Brian Gutekunst's baby. So when they play to their potential, I think it reflects the talent for sure. But it also speaks to what Joe Barry has been able to do because Mike Pettin had talent too. And they were not able to always put it together in the same kind of way. Now, this is one game against a bad offense. A bad offense, albeit with some nice players. But this is a defense that has plenty of ability, that is playing some disciplined football. They're not busting coverages like they were in week one. They didn't get fooled by Kyle Shanahan. They didn't get tricked in this game by Matt Canada. They didn't run anything gimmicky either. But what they were able to do was be a solid group that created timely turnovers. And it's not just the turns, right? It's not just the official turnovers. Because Green Bay did force two of those and they sealed the game on the interception. They changed the game on the sack fumble. The Steelers were also 0 of 2 on fourth down. Those are turnovers. I mean, that is 4 turnovers really in this game for the Green Bay Packers. And Lily Zhao was on the show last week. She predicted a pick 6. Did not get a pick 6. Did get a pick from Eric Stokes. They created turnovers, and that's something that they have done now. It is part of the identity of this team. And you just need a little confidence. You just need a little confidence to be able to push you to that next level where now you're really playing some really confident football. Defense is so much about confidence that we know the team has the talent. And this was an instance where they were able to make the splash plays that are commensurate to their talent. Does this sound familiar? You've got one device that lets you catch the game live, another that lets you stream your favorite shows. You're watching sports highlights on your phone because of course you are, and you've got your neighbor's best friend's login for other stuff. Well, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. It's called Directv Stream, and it brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before so you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, no contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directv.com. That's directv.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends at Built Bar. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar ever. How many times do I have to say it? It's the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. Right now, the limited time flavor, cookie dough chunk. And that is in addition to coconut almond, mint brownie, peanut butter brownie, double chocolate, salted caramel, cherry, raspberry, all high in fiber, high in protein, low in net carbs, and low in sugar. Right now, you go to built.com and use promo code LOCKS15. You will get 15% off your first order. That's promo code LOCKS15 at built.com. Thanks for making Locked On Packers your first listen of the day. Now make your second listen Peacock and Williamson. Brian Peacock and former NFL scout Matt Williamson give you the expert NFL analysis in less than 30 minutes. It's free and available on all platforms. Before we finish, I want to say one thing about the field goal situation and the special teams in general. First of all, Boho Blast. Boho Blast. Do I need to say anything more? The guy is awesome. Speaking of things that Brian Gutekunst deserves credit for, Boho Blast. The second, the Packers have a field goal blocked where Big Bob Tunyon blocks no one. No one. He had two guys to block. He blocked neither of them. Not ideal. And they almost had another one blocked. That's a problem. And you can say whatever you want about Mo Drayton, and he seems like a very well-liked guy. He is great in press conferences. You got to get it fixed. And the guys have to play better, but you got to get it fixed. You have to get it fixed because a game might come down to a field goal. So you can't be in a position where a block could potentially end your season, right? I mean, we saw Mason Crosby kick the game winner. If you can't get those guys blocked in that situation, you don't even have a chance to let Mason Crosby do that. But there are going to be some Steelers fans who say, well, if that is called differently, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's true. But that was a 10-point swing, right? Pittsburgh scores 7. Instead, Green Bay scores 3, 10-point swing. Green Bay does not get the tripping call that would have set the Packers up first and goal inside the 5. They have to settle for a field goal. That's a 4-point swing. And then end of the game, no holding call on Rashawn Gary on a third down. And you get the ticky-tack PI call on Eric Stokes. Turns into 7. That's a minus net 7 for the Packers. So 10 plus 10 for the Steelers, or minus 10 for the Steelers, minus 11 for the Packers. The crappy officiating evened out. Now, that's not what you want to be, holding your hat on. If you're the NFL, you'd rather just not have bad officiating. But anyone who watched this game knows the right team won. And if anything, the Packers, this should have been a game that was not close. Now, last week is the same thing, and the officials played a role in that too. If you're the Packers and you're Matt LaFleur, your message to your team has to be, leave no doubt. Leave no doubt. Do not give the refs a chance. And when we have opportunities, we have to capitalize on them. When you have a throw to Big Bob Tunyon for a touchdown to ice the game, you got to make it. You got to make it. I mean, those are the plays. And if they still won by 10. This is not like I'm dragging this team. But this game could have been a much more impressive, quote unquote, victory by the scoreboard and the aesthetics of the game if they had done a few things here or there better. This is something that I kept saying last year, and I think it bears repeating this year because it's true again. This team is now 3-1. They've put week 1 behind them. Aaron Rodgers over the last 3 weeks is, at the top of a million categories in terms of efficiency and all the things that he's been able to do for this offense. The defense is steadily improving, in my opinion. And it's not always going to be linear. They're going to take some steps back. The injuries are tough. You hope that you have the squad that can handle it. But there's more out there for this team. And that was something they kept saying in 2019. There's more out there. There's more out there. There's more out there. And you were just sort of like, I don't know. Is there? We've seen what this offense can do. The offense has proven it this season that they are really, really good and really capable. They can be even better when they're healthy. With David Bakhtiari, with Elton Jenkins, with time to throw, they can pick these teams apart offensively. And defensively, Eric Stokes is a guy. He's a guy. I don't know if he's ever going to be a star. I don't like to put that pressure on a rookie. He looks like he's really good. He looks like he could be really good. Like Jair Alexander and Eric Stokes and Darnell Savage, they could be the core of your defense for a long, long time, the core of a really good defense. And you add in Rashawn Gary and Kenny Clark, and we'll see what happens with the rest of this front. I think that there's plenty of opportunities for them to get better. They can get better, and they are getting better, and that's what you need to see. That's what you need to see, the improvement, even while they're dealing with injuries. I think this team is already good, and they can be so much better. The Rams, are they good? They looked like the best team in the league last week, and this week they look like crap. I was going to say a dog-related word. They looked really bad. Now, the Cardinals looked really good. I don't know that the Cardinals are that great, but they played awesome. against the Rams. Packers have to play the Cardinals in a couple weeks. This is a wide open NFL right now. And I think Green Bay has to feel like they have as good a chance as anyone to go out there and win a Super Bowl. So we'll be back tomorrow, Expert Tuesday. We will have Lily Zhao on Wednesday, Crossover Thursday, and of course, our live stream on Friday. Follow me on Twitter, Peter_Bukowski. Follow the podcast on Twitter at Locked On Packers. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to the podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you find podcasts, you will find Locked On Packers. Subscribe to us at The Leap. TheLeap.substack.com is free on Mondays. So sign up, get that newsletter in your inbox at the very least on Monday. And the rest of the week, we'd love to have you the rest of the week, the rest of the month. That would be awesome. Subscribe on YouTube, as I said. And anytime you want to hit us up on the Locked On Packers fan hotline, you can do that, 920-341-3775 to stay Locked On Packers.